the dry weather, there's been a bit of a tendency to do posts just showing how poorly things are doing in the dry weather. So for a change today, I thought I'd put a few things on that are doing pretty well. They're getting watered regularly, but maybe we should do this more often each year. So these Sue's flowers, this row here, doing very well. We're soon going to have a few flowers. Behind them are a row of sweet peas, a sort of secondary row from the ones that are in the main row in this bed, and they're doing well, and they're producing some flowers with some really long stems. At this end we've got our brassica bed that will follow on from our early collection that we got from DT Brown. We're still harvesting those, we've still got some cauliflowers, and we've still got some cabbage and a few broccoli Calabrese spears, but in a week or so that will have come to an end, and the idea is that this bed will then take over. So at this end we've got some Clapton cauliflowers. That everything in this bed is clubroot resistant, so I don't expect it to suffer clubroot. These cauliflowers are looking pretty good. They're obviously a few weeks off being ready, but they're looking nice and healthy and green. These cabbages are Calibro, and they too are looking pretty good, and hoping soon they'll produce some nice heads. Last year we got some fairly sizable heads off these. Next, red cabbage, red Lodero, or Lodero. Don't know whether it's definitely red cabbage, not too sure whether it's called just Lodero or red Lodero, but once again it looks really well, and we know from previous years it doesn't start to heart up till fairly late. It makes you think it's not going to do anything, because as you can see it's sort of fairly open and there's not many leaves in there, but I'm expecting it to do what it did last year, and all of a sudden it forms a really tight head, and it lasts well too. And finally some more Calabrese. This is Monclano, and once again the plants look extremely well. Be a while before they produce any heads, but they're growing really well, so I've got every hope that this bed is going to give us a really good crop once our early collection from DT Brown are finished, and the Enviromesh will go back over to keep any marauding cabbage whites at bay. This bed's got our Crown Prince squash and some sweet peas in, and Crown Prince squashes are doing very well. They've suddenly started to cover the ground, and I'll have to get some more of my stakes. I'll have a row of these stakes in the ground so that these stems can be trailed back in rather than them trailing over this bit of weedy grass and onto the road and getting crumpled as the cars go by. They are setting some fruits. I saw some earlier on. I'll see if I can find one in here if I step over here and have a look. And in there's a little Crown Prince, a mini prince, a young prince, but hopefully it's going to grow into a decent sized squash and it will last all winter and into next spring. And this row of sweet peas are cropping or flowering really well. We'll have all those sweet peas off before we go home tonight, and it will look just the same the next time we visit the plot in a few days' time. Our cardoons, I think, are just starting to show the signs of a bit of wear and tear, but they've stood up well. They've had no gale force winds that have broken the stems, so they look quite spectacular, and they are just starting to come out on flower. If you can see up there, I think I might be pointing at the right one, but it's above head height. I can't see anything. That one is just starting to come into flower. One thing I did notice while I was watering the sweet peas, one of the main weeds we have on the plot is bindweed, but it does do a wonderful effort to convince you that it's a garden plant. Here's one that we've missed. It's twining up the stake that holds the supports for the Joan J autumn raspberries, and it looks really nice, and there's a couple of flowers that are past it and more to come, and it's happily twining itself further up that post. I would say it hasn't got much longer to twine up that post once I finish filming. And as we move along to the next post, here's another one doing just the same, climbing the post, and there's one down here making a bid for freedom, but I must admit the flowers are really nice. It's just a shame that the thing takes over everything, twists itself around stems of plants and just finishes them off. And also, while we're talking on this side of the plot, I'll have a wander round, get a bit closer in. Our runner beans and climbing French beans are looking very healthy. The runners, the only problem is they're not particularly setting many beans at the minute, but I'm sure they'll start setting some soon. I think I go through this phase each year, but the plants look fairly well. Only one of our Burpless tasty green cucumbers has survived, but that will do us, and it does have some little cucumbers on, or a little cucumber on, but sure there'll be some more somewhere. So that's looking good. Our tomato plants are now one of this afternoon's job is to try and get these staked up, flowering, looking very good. Raspberries are doing very well, despite the fact that my post fell over. We've still got lots and lots of ripe fruit. We've picked quite a lot, and there's more to pick. And down on the floor is evidence that the blackbird too is enjoying raspberries. Plenty picked off and are on the floor. Loch Ness blackberry is now starting to produce blackberries, and I did pick a few the last time I was down here, but there'll be another punnet to pick today. This bed is looking quite good too. Didn't know what was going in this year at the start of the year, and it finished up having some squash plants in it. They're called butterbush, and again it's another variety that will store over winter. The plants are now looking quite good, and I had a tray of a few plants of borage, and I didn't know where to put them on the plot, and this was the only bed available, so they went in here. Thought they'd do alright in between these. I didn't know that it was a good idea to plant borage because the flowers attract plenty of bees to help pollinate the squashes. There must be some green fly because I can spot some ladybirds in there. The flowers tend to look down, but the flowers really are quite nice. And I just spotted the bee in one over there, happily pollinating away. So despite the dry weather, things on this side of the plot, if you ignore the potatoes, are doing very well. There may be a lesson to be learnt here for future years on the amount of watering to be done on the plot. Maybe in other years we just don't do enough. My plan today was that I was going to go around the whole allotment site, or our plots anyway, and cover everything that was growing well despite how dry it is. I've run out of time, so it's going to have to be just plot 41, which is more or less what you're looking at now. So I've been round plot 41. I've had a look at what I think is growing pretty well despite the dry weather and our efforts to keep things watered. This is today's harvest, and part of picking this is the reason I didn't get all the video done that I wanted to. So what out of this lot came off plot 41? Well, sweet peas, raspberries did, and the blackberries and those black raspberries did too. So I'm going to do some of the other plots the next time we come down.